Nobody wanted him. Not the first family, not the second, not the 37th. For 11 months, this 130-pound jet black Cane Corso sat in the same kennel and watched people walk past without stopping. Then, one woman looked him in the eyes, and everything that happened after will change the way you think about this breed forever. Nobody wanted him. Not because he was aggressive, not because he was broken, because he was too much. Too big, too dark, too still. The kind of dog that made people slow down, look twice, and keep walking. His name was Roman, a 130-pound jet black Cane Corso with amber eyes so deep they looked like they were made of fire. Broad skull, loose jowls, a chest wide enough to block a doorway. His leather collar worn soft from months of sitting, waiting, watching the same door open and close without anyone stopping for him. 11 months. That's how long Roman sat in Kennel 6 at Cloverfield Animal Rescue. 37 families came through. Most didn't even slow down. The shelter workers started calling him the statue, not because he was cold, because he never moved when people walked past. He just watched. Patient, still, like he already knew who he was waiting for. Rachel Donovan was 34 years old, a night shift nurse who lived alone in a 2-bedroom house on the edge of a quiet neighborhood. She had one rule: nothing too big. She broke that rule on a Sunday afternoon in March when her car ended up in the Cloverfield parking lot instead of the grocery store 2 miles away. She told herself she'd just look. The first thing she noticed about Roman was that he didn't react when she stopped at his kennel. Every other dog barked, jumped, pressed against the gate. Roman just turned his head slowly and looked at her, not through her, at her, like he was reading something written behind her eyes that she didn't even know was there. The shelter manager, Carol, appeared at her shoulder. "He doesn't do that for everyone," Carol said quietly. "Do what?" "Look at them like that." Roman hadn't moved, still sitting, still watching, amber eyes locked on Rachel's face with a calm so complete it felt almost heavy. "How long has he been here?" Rachel asked. Carol paused. 11 months, 37 families. Rachel didn't say anything for a long time. Then she opened the kennel door and walked in. Roman stood slowly, walked to her, and pressed his enormous head against her sternum. He didn't jump, he didn't bark, he just leaned into her, like he had been waiting 11 months to do exactly that. She signed the papers before she could talk herself out of it. The first week was a study in contrasts. Roman was 130 pounds of quiet intensity in a house built for one. He didn't destroy anything, he didn't howl, he simply followed Rachel from room to room, positioning himself between her and every doorway, every entrance she passed through. Her coworker Diane called it creepy. Rachel called it something she didn't have a word for yet. By the end of week 2, the routine had formed on its own. Every morning at 6:47 a.m., Roman would wake before Rachel, do a slow circuit of the house, then sit outside her bedroom door until she opened it. Not barking, not pawing, just sitting, present, like a guard who took his post seriously and never asked to be thanked. When Rachel came home from night shifts, exhausted and hollow in the way only hospital work can hollow a person, Roman would be at the door. Not jumping, just there, tail moving slowly, eyes already reading her face. On the bad shifts, he would walk with her to the couch and place his head in her lap without being asked. He understood the difference between a hard day and a devastating one. He never got it wrong. Some nights, she didn't say a single word. He already knew. 3 weeks in, Rachel had a night that broke something loose. A patient she had cared for 6 weeks didn't make it through the morning. She came home, sat on the kitchen floor, still in her scrubs, and didn't move. Roman walked in from the hallway. He lowered his 130-pound body onto the floor and pressed himself against her side. He stayed there for over an hour. She cried. He didn't move. If you're still watching but haven't subscribed yet, that means a lot to me. These stories take everything we have. Hit subscribe now. You won't regret it. From that night on, something shifted. The house stopped feeling like a place she returned to and started feeling like a place she belonged. Roman had done that, not by being trained, just by showing up in the same rooms at the same hours with the same steady amber eyes night after night. He had one habit Rachel couldn't explain and eventually stopped trying to. Every night, without fail, between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., Roman would rise and walk the full perimeter of the house: kitchen, back door, side window, living room, front door, hallway. Same order every time. Then he'd return to the hallway outside Rachel's room and lie down facing the front of the house. She started calling it the rounds. She never told him to do it. He never stopped. Then came the Wednesday in October. It was 1:54 a.m. Rachel was asleep. She woke to a sound she had never heard from him before. Not his low warning rumble. This was deep, sustained, completely serious, the kind of sound that tells your body to move before your brain catches up. She was in the hallway before she was fully conscious. Roman was at the front window, every muscle rigid, eyes fixed on the street. Rachel grabbed her phone and pulled up the doorbell camera. 2 men in her driveway, one crouched near her car, the other watching the street. She called 911. The operator told her to stay back from the windows. Roman never moved from his position. He didn't charge the door. He stood at that window, 130 pounds of absolute focus, and did not move until the police cruiser turned onto the street 4 minutes later. The men ran when they saw the lights. Officers found a Slim Jim tool near her front tire. The car had been minutes away from being taken. 3 other vehicles were stolen from the same neighborhood that same night. Hers was the only one they didn't get. The same dog 37 families passed over. The same dog the shelter called the statue. He was the reason Rachel still had her car, still felt safe, still slept without the fear that comes from living alone. Today, Roman is 4 years old. He still does his rounds every night. He still sits outside Rachel's door every morning at 6:47. He still presses his head against her chest on the bad shifts. The amber eyes haven't changed at all. The house that used to echo when she walked through it doesn't echo anymore, because some dogs don't come into your life to be cared for. They come to care for you. They don't announce it. They don't ask for credit. They just show up night after night and make themselves into something between a shadow and a shield. Roman decided that the moment Rachel walked in Kennel 6. He just needed her to walk in, and once she did, neither of them ever looked back. If you're thinking about bringing a large breed dog into your home, take the time to understand what they need, learn what they were bred for, give them a purpose that matches what's already inside them. A dog like Roman doesn't need to be changed or quieted or made smaller. He just needs someone willing to look him in the eyes long enough to see what's really there. Was Roman protecting Rachel, or did she rescue him? I think you already know the answer. Tell me in the comments.